Don't Wake the Bear by Steve Smallman and Carolyn Pedler. It was spring party day, the best day of the year. So why were the animals trembling with fear? They'd heard growling noises and crept up to see a huge bear asleep in the old hollow tree. So there's the hollow tree. "Oh no," they all cried, "but our party's today. How can we get ready with him in the way?" "I'll wake him up," cried a little brown hare. "No, no," they all whispered. "Please don't wake the bear." "Bears," Badger said, "are enormous and hairy. If you wake them up, they get angry and scary. We'll still have our party, though if we take care, be quiet as mice, so we don't wake the bear." So they tippy-toed off without making a peep to get party things while the bear was asleep, and the ants carried wobbling stacks of dishes and saucers and cups on their backs. So there's the ants way down there under the stack of dishes. Badger brought in a huge yummy dessert. Then he tripped and it fell with a splat in the dirt. The bear stretched and grumbled, which gave them a scare. So there they hear, he's grumbling. "Shh," they all whispered. "Please don't wake the bear." The lanterns were carefully hung in the trees. The mice tied up ribbons that danced on the breeze. They brought in the very last blueberry tart, and their party was now almost ready to start. So you can still hear the bear snoozing in here. Then Hare cried, "There's only one thing left to do." And he grabbed a balloon and he blew and he blew and he blew and he blew till the others said, "Stop! If it gets any bigger, it's going to pop!" So the balloon popped, and what do you think happened? The bear stretched and groaned, and they all held their breath. Then his eyes flickered open and scared them to death. "Run, run and hide!" they all cried in despair. "Now we're in trouble, we've woken the bear." "Who dares wake me up?" growled the bear angrily. Hare said in a small, shaky voice, "It was me. Our party is going to start very soon. I was trying to help, but I popped my balloon." "A party?" cried Bear with a grin. "Could it be? A big surprise party, especially for me? Oh, thank you for waking me up, little bunny. I'll come to your party and bring you some honey." So the bear thinks they're having a party for him. And even though Bear was enormous and hairy, they found he was great fun and not a bit scary. He danced and he partied with everyone there, and they all cheered, "Hooray for our new friend, the bear." All right, so we're gonna make a little bear mask. So the first part that I started with is a plate. If you would like to use a larger plate, you can. I have a small plate, and I just going to start by cutting out the eyes. So to do that, I just sort of pinch the plate and cut a little slit And then I'll stick my scissors in there and just go around, make a circle. All right, so that's the start of our So to begin with, I used a foam cup to trace the ears. So I used the largest part of the cup and I traced 2 circles for our ears. And I did that before I cut our cup down. So I'll cut some slits about halfway down the cup. And then I just folded it up. Since it's styrofoam, it breaks easily. Folded the pieces up because we want a smaller piece of cup. So if you want, you can trim it nicely all the way around. Doesn't really matter. Now if you're making a brown bear, like I did here, I used a marker and I colored his nose brown. You could use this idea for a polar bear as well and keep the cup white and make it out of white. So next I'm going to cut out my ears. So you could do smaller ears or larger ears. I like the larger ears. Okay, so we've got a couple things to glue on. So first I'm going to glue on my, just going to even up my cup a little here. I'm going to glue my cup on for his snout of his nose. So I just do a line of glue around the edge of the cup and then stick that in the center. And then for my ears, I'll just put glue up in the corners of each of those. All right, so just give that a chance to dry and set a little bit. So while we're waiting for that, I have some tissue paper. So you can use any color depending on the color of bear that you're doing. I have some sort of brown and beige tissue paper and I've just cut it into squares or rectangles, and then I just scrunch it a little, not too much, otherwise you have to use a lot of pieces. So I'm going to make some lines of glue around my mask, my bear mask. You need a little bit of glue all around. And then I take my scrumped up pieces and I'm just sticking them all around to make my bear's face. It's going to look a little bit like his fur. So we're going to do that all around the bear's face. And the pieces of tissue will need a couple minutes to dry before you can pick it up. So just real quickly, don't have to spend too much time thinking about where your papers go, just fill it all in. Tuck some pieces in everywhere. until you're happy with how filled in it is. Okay, and so you'll need to give those some time to dry. Everything's going to need time to dry. So if you're doing a brown bear, you can take your marker and color your nose in, or you can cover it with construction paper. And then on the front of my mask, I used just some craft puff balls. And so whatever color of bear you're doing, you can put a puff ball in the front so that it looks like his front of his nose. Then when you're all done, if you want a parent to help you, you can either put a piece of elastic around the back or a string or a ribbon, and you can wear it as a mask, or you can just hold it as a mask.